Give for you. Give for you.
Oh gosh.
And that was the second bag of rats that she had hauled away from her pile of stuff that's been over there.
Just today?
Just today. She started cleaning out a little bit, but she's doing a little more detailed clean of some of the stuff. And that was just 2 bags of them today.
So she just catches them with her bare hands?
Well, they're probably little mice and everything else. She picks them up. They're not getting out running around yet. And if she just wakes them up, they're fairly easy to catch. Right now, I think there's too much help.
What do you mean by too much help?
You will realize what I mean by too much help, or at least too much of the wrong kind of help, if you come to this park on Saturday and Sunday. A dozen or more people, large organizations will bring enough food. Each of them will bring enough food to feed at least 100 or 200 people for the 70 or so people who are in the park. And when you realize that each one of these nearly dozen or so organizations are doing the same thing, a lot of the resources are being wasted. Martha's Table comes by every night at about 6 o'clock, give or take 15 or 20 minutes. Generally, they will give out enough food for a person to last them 24 hours, if they eat it all. Of course, if they feed the birds with most of it and everything else, it might only last them a few hours. And that's what a lot of homeless people do with the food. They throw it on the ground for the birds, and when the birds don't eat, the little mice you saw around there populate and grow into big rats. They're not the only, homeless people are not the only ones that feed the animals in the park. People from drive taxi cabs drop off here. People who work for security companies drop off here and throw loaves of bread out there, contributing to the problem of rat population. The people I call bleeding hearts, for the most part, the people who don't care whether anybody's being helped as long as they feel good about dumping truckloads of stuff out in the park and driving off and leaving what's left over. They need to have the glory for what little they do, so they bring their cameras out and record that they've given away a whole bunch of stuff. They don't care whether one person gets the resources for 300 or 300 people get the resources. As long as they can get rid of it, pat themselves on the back and feel good and be gone.
Well, you think the help that's coming on Saturday is kind of like an enabling process, you would say?
Well, of course. A lot of the tents in the park were given by organizations. Sleeping bags, blankets. A lot of the homeless people, when they get sleeping bags and blankets, will use them for the night or two. They get tired of carrying them around. They stash them off in some place where they either get stolen or thrown away because whoever's cleaning the park will throw them away. Or they'll get stolen. Or they'll get weather damaged and rotted. But why should they worry? They'll get another one next week or in a few days anyway. Too many resources. No accountability.